Welcome to this short video about carbon neutrality according to Adam. Carbon neutrality refers to a balance between carbon emissions and carbon absorption from the atmosphere in carbon sinks. Carbon sequestration is the process of removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and storing it. Adam is a French public establishment of an industrial and commercial nature founded in 1991 and placed under the supervision of Ministries of Ecology, Sustainable Development and Energy. Adam wished to submit to the debate 4 coherent typical paths that represent in a deliberately contrasting manner economic, technical and social options for achieving carbon neutrality in 2050. Those 4 scenarios are based on the same macroeconomic, demographic and climate change data.
Now I will present you the 4 Adams scenarios for 2050. For the scenario 1, frugal generation, some significant changes in the way we travel, eat, buy and use equipment will make it possible to achieve carbon neutrality without involving carbon capture and storage technologies, which are unproven and uncertain on a large scale. For the scenario 2, territorial cooperation, society is transformed through shared governments and territorial cooperation. Non-governmental organizations, public institutions, private sector and civil society find pragmatic ways to cooperate to maintain social cohesion. For the scenario 3, green technology, it's technological development that makes it possible to respond to environmental challenges rather than changes in behavior towards greater sobriety. And finally, the scenario 4, restorative beating, the lifestyles of the early 21st century is preserved, but the proliferation of goods consumes a lot of energy and materials with potentially strong impacts on the environment.
An average French citizen consumes about 220 kilowatt-hours each day. As an example, we produce with our legs 0.3 kilowatt-hour and 0.15 kilowatt-hour with your arms. Considering this, we use near 1,000 humans for everyday uses. The average French worker drives 1,000 kilometers a month, travel by train about 2,000 kilometers a year, and takes the aircraft twice or 3 times a year. In terms of house consumption, it is home at 21 Celsius degrees and takes a 10-minute shower every day. For shopping, the average French person buys for 600 euros of new clothes every year. This is the base we have now in 2022. Now we will see how we can target a lower consumption for 2050.
Concerning the second scenario, I will make a short presentation of the way of life in 2050. Society in 2050 will have undergone major changes in many areas, such as the massive renovation of buildings, the revitalization and the rational mobilization of plant and forest research. Regarding the mobility, the sustainability of transport is a major aspect of our society, which has undergone an important ecological transition. In the energy field, and the energy mix dominated by biomass and electricity, essentially decarbonized, maintenance of natural skin, and the limited use of CO2, capture and storage. The last field with major changes is the industry, reindustrialization and the specialization by region under the impetus of public authorities, development and recycling and recovery.
We will now focus on the first of the 4 Adam scenarios, frugal generation. This scenario involves drastic changes in our lifestyle made before traveling, eating ourselves or shopping, thus in order to achieve carbon neutrality without involving carbon capture and sequestration technologies usage, which are not proven to work on a large scale at the moment. To better understand some of the changes that are to be expected, we are gonna compare some of the current lifestyle habits with what our future lifestyle may be if everything is going according to this Adam scenario. Thanks to that, we hope that you will understand the future daily life of a lambda person. For this scenario, we'll have to reduce our meat consumption by 2/3 and buy from local producer, with approximately 70% coming from bio-producer. This will help us with reducing intensive agriculture and is the reason why the plate that you can see on the right hand side is way more frugal. As for the mobility, car usage will have to be decreased by 30%, and we'll have to use soft mobility means of transport. They include walking, riding bicycle, skateboarding, or using public transportation such as buses or trains.
The use of high-tech and unnecessary products should no longer be an habit. Overconsumption should be banished. Smartphones and computers should be repaired and reused to reduce the carbon footprint. This will allow industries to reduce the use of raw material such as steel, aluminum or glass and recycle at least 70% of them. The development of local exchanges is a priority. Actions like sharing food resources are mandatory. International trade is restricted. We prefer local markets and other territorial exchanges. Electricity consumption will have to be reduced to meet essential needs, and the comfort we know today will be different. We will be, for example, warming up naturally with a hoodie instead of increasing the heating. We will have to divide by 3 our electricity consumption. It will be mainly provided by green energy and nuclear industry. Finally, all consumption will be limited to a few specific uses, and hydrogen will be used as a lever to decarbonize the gas network.
Thanks for watching our video. In order to deepen the subject, we invite you to check our article on La conscience des étudiants, where we talk about the first 2 of the 4 ADEM scenarios. You can find the link in the description below.